those who are returning, I want to thank you so much. Today's reading is going to be a 12 sign reading to see which signs are compatible with you, Gemini. Let's begin. Alright, if you're a Gemini, this is all about the Gemini woman. And if you're interested in a Gemini, this is going to let you know some of the ins and outs of what makes her tick. Now, there's a part of the Gemini woman that needs love, and she needs security. She likes to be coddled and catered to. And of course, we all want to be looked after and made to feel as if we're the most important person in the world. Now, when you meet a Gemini woman, you're going to be enchanted immediately because she can cast a spell and she has this passion about her and she can be very friendly. And Gemini women are fascinating, and a lot of times men have a difficult time trying to figure them out because of their dual nature. Gemini has a secret fantasy, and she wants to be the femme fatale, but in real life she just doesn't have the patience or the time. Besides, half the men she meets she feels aren't really worth her effort. The Gemini woman needs a fascinating man, a man that can match her wit and has the same type of cerebral, how can I say this, stimulation. She likes a lot of mental stimulation, and she likes to talk. They like to talk about everything, and she may know a little bit about every different subject, and she'll be fascinated if you know something about one particular subject. She likes that, and she's really into someone that is full of life, that loves to go out and have fun. She's looking for a real interesting man. And if the affair starts to lose its fever, she looks for an escape hatch. And a bad experience is quickly put out of her mind because she wants to be able to fall in love again, and she knows she must forget about having been in love before. And in the game of seduction, she can appear sometimes heartless because she's trying to keep you head over heels about her, but she's very calculating, and because she wants to know whether you're worth her attention. She experiences sexual desire in her mind because she's cerebral, and basically she doesn't commit herself too deeply or reveal herself too openly. She can seem kind of fickle with her dualistic nature. Her demands can be more than one man can usually provide. And to fulfill her needs, he must satisfy on a bunch of different planes all at once, mentally, emotionally, and sexually. Variety is her game. She wants someone who can interest her both in the bedroom and on a mental level. And she can be a devoted companion once she finds that faithful lover. And he has to be an all-season charmer, because she will be a faithful companion. And underneath her mask, you're going to find an enduring person who shows her real face when she's in love. Now, the Gemini man, this man is ruled by Mercury, and he loves women, which is one of his secrets to his success with them. And he's very imaginative about going places and things to do and things to see. So a date with him is very entertaining, and it may seem like it never ends with him. And women are drawn like moths to the light of his flame. And like moths, women flare briefly in his life, and then they're gone. It's not that they're gone because he's not lovable, because he is. They're gone because it's no good to try to pin him down. Because he's like a butterfly. He's not a specimen in a case. So enjoy it while you can, because it can be brief. Now he's all about having fun, and once the daily requirement of fun is gone, he will leave the relationship. And the truth is that a Gemini male can be made very uneasy by a woman that is showing too much emotion, or a woman that moves too quickly or gets too serious real quick. He thinks sex is fascinating because it's always renewing itself, but he thinks of love as terminal. But it's funny because they don't like, they feel uneasy with a lot of emotion, but they always seem to be drawn to the more emotional, intense type of woman. And he likes a woman that lives on some type of dramatic level, who really feels emotions and expresses them. It intrigues him and fascinates him at the same time. And the reason of this is because he's trying to learn new things about himself. He may go from one female to another until he finds that person that he's interested in or he's searching for. Because he's searching for his own identity. He's searching for the perfect love. He wants to find that astral twin, that spiritual soulmate who will complete his nature and put an end to his duality. Now he's gonna go for a woman that can have a friendly relationship with him, and kind of unaggressive and intellectual. And it's funny because some women will find themselves in bed with him and they're not quite sure how they got there, because he is that, like I said, he's that flame that the moth is drawn to. Now, as a lover, he's very imaginative and he's self-assured, but he may not seem fully committed, and he seems always like partly occupied somewhere else, but a romance with him will prove intriguing and exciting, but it may not survive the rough spots. But he is fascinating to know if you can capture his heart. Gemini and Aries. Now, this pair can be really good friends as well as great lovers. And they do like being together because they have fun doing activities, and they like to travel, and they're all for adventure and variety. And they enjoy each other's humor, and they like the same type of social life. Now, Aries is going to try to make the decisions because Gemini can sometimes have difficulty in this area. And in the bedroom, it's really going to be high sparks because they're both enthusiastic about sex. Aries is going to be a little bit more dominant, and it's going to give Gemini the direction that they need, because Geminis can wander from the straight and narrow, and this keeps Aries on their toes. Now, Gemini, if you're looking to spot an Aries, you can spot one because they'll have more than likely a baby face, or they may look much younger than they really are. And Aries usually have a strong nose and very eager eyes and a flashing smile. Now, they could have like reddish hair or kind of a rosy complexion to account for their very fiery nature. Now, they're also known for broad shoulders and a muscular frame, and sometimes slim hips. And even though they don't work out, they may appear like they do. And Aries people can be risk takers, so they may have some scars on their bodies from different injuries because they are accident prone. Now, Gemini and Aries are very well suited for each other because they both look for excitement, and sex with them might be very playful. And this is usually at first, Gemini may be a little bit hesitant about the playfulness in the bedroom, but that's only until they open up. And then after that, then game on. And the sex between them is adventurous and exciting, like I said. And Gemini men love trying new things in the bedroom and heightening the Aries women pleasure, and vice versa. Their sexual compatibility for the Gemini is very strong. They crave intimacy, and the sexual relationship makes it easier for Gemini to stay connected in the relationship because Gemini craves intimacy. So if you're wondering if a Gemini and Aries as a couple can last, certainly they're super compatible. And Aries is passionate in love and always looking for a thrill. And Gemini is an air sign who enjoys learning and changing up their life. And they like to stay up all night and chatter with their partner. And together they make an exciting match. Gemini and Taurus. Now, Gemini is easily bored and looks for new experiences, where Taurus is devoted to home sweet home, while Gemini follows the lure of the open road. Gemini finds Taurus's lovemaking a little bit on the dull side, and it also resents its restrictive nature. Taurus tries to construct a net, and Taurus can be very jealous. When Gemini and Taurus first meet, there is a sparkle there. And Gemini is intrigued by Taurus's uncomplicated directness. But Taurus wants a life that's stable and orderly, while Gemini can get really bored easily and looks for new experiences. And Taurus just wants to be at home, and they want to enjoy the finer things in life, while Gemini wants to go out, explore, travel. And this can make it difficult for our Geminis, because Taurus is set in their ways. And Gemini does like their stableness, but at the same time, this match could be a problem here, because neither of them are willing to compromise. And because of this, their passions cool. Now, Taurus is a sign that needs physical touch and the joy of all the body senses, where Gemini really doesn't need that, and they really don't want to be spending time in someone's arms, because they don't need to be touched. They want to be intellectually stimulated. They have to know that they are loved and accepted in a lot of different ways, and touch is just one of them. After all, they're the air sign, and in their world, thoughts and communication is something that gives them what they need, and possibly it gives them a good sexual life. Now, Taurus could stay in bed all day long, cuddling and ordering food, and Gemini just wants to get out and be intimate, all not so intimate places. Their sex life could become the source of most of their problems. So, because Gemini could get really bored with Taurus, and Taurus gets annoyed by the lack of emotional essence. If you're looking to spot a Taurus, it can be easily done because they have large round eyes and small delicate ears. Their hair and eyes tend to be darker shades, and they're known for having naturally curly hair. They're ruled by Venus and often very attractive with pleasing facial features. Now, they're ruled by the neck, so a lot of them may have a distinct neck, and it makes them stand out. They usually have a sturdy build with a strong posture. They may have a unique voice or manner of speaking that sets them apart. Gemini and Gemini. Now, these people are fascinating conversationalists, and they're going to have tons of friends together, and they'll throw some marvelous parties. You won't find a more versatile, charming, or vivacious pair. Now, these two will never get bored of each other because they both like to talk a lot, and they talk about a lot of different topics, and they're interested in everything. And the pace is really frantic, but neither of them are going to slow down. And there may be some competition. But this couple can be unstable, superficial, and restless. And when they move from the fun and games out of the bedroom, everything may seem too chaotic, even for the twins. Spotting a Gemini, you'll first notice that they are extremely easy to read. They have really bright eyes and delicate features, a friendly smile, and they seem to have this magical lure about them. Gemini ascendants are sometimes tall, and they have very nice bodies. Their body is graceful, their arms and hands. Geminis tend to be very animated storytellers, and they like to use their hands and like gesture and make sounds sometimes, and they're pretty fun conversationalists. And when two Geminis come together, it can be like four people coming together because they're represented by the twin. And so life is never going to be dull with these two, and they can never get bored. And since they have the same type of intellectual need for stimulation and constant chatter, they serve very well as one another's sounding board. So this can be pretty good, because Gemini is all about freedom, variety of expression. And the Geminis together will enjoy this. They are sure to be the life of the party. And they're very sharp-witted and very well-honed. And they also seem to be very entertaining to be around. But the problem with this couple could be competition. So if you could avoid competition, this relationship can be extremely happy and satisfying. Because the twins like to toss back and forth tidbits, and they have playful banter, and they like sarcasm, and they just want to have fun. But this may prevent from both of you guys taking each other seriously and taking the relationship seriously. Maybe one of you may not take it as serious as the other, and vice versa, or possibly both of you. So there certainly is a place to get serious here if you want to. And you need to pay more attention to your feelings and each other's feelings rather than just on your intellect. And that's going to really enhance your love relationship with this other Gemini. So I think this is a great match. Gemini and Cancer. These two. Gemini has physical needs, and passionate Cancer can fulfill these needs. And Gemini's cheerfulness brightens Cancer's disposition. But all too soon, Geminis tend to wound oversensitive Cancer. And Gemini makes Cancer feel very insecure, and the affair can likely to be volatile, especially with Gemini's flirtatious ways. Cancer can get very jealous, and this is something that you're going to have to watch out for. And they don't have much in common for a long-term relationship. Cancer needs a lot of security, and Gemini hates being tied down. And Gemini just doesn't have the patience that Cancer needs. And the moodiness of Cancer really turns Gemini off. And Gemini can have a sharp tongue, and this can hurt Cancer's fragile ego. Now, if you want to spot a Cancer, they're famous for their round faces. And they typically have soft features, high cheekbones, and emotionally expressive faces. And they have a gentle way about them, and it makes you be able to trust them easily. Cancer people usually have fuller heart-shaped figures, and they're ruled by the chest, so they may have a broad chest area. And they're really interested in their house or home and family, and often talk about that. And they even may bear a close resemblance to their parents, almost to the point that they're a lot alike. Gemini, when you first meet Cancer, you're going to be able to bring them out of their shell. While they can help you chill out a little bit. And you do have creativity as your common goal. Gemini loves wordplay, while Cancer is artistic. And you can be excellent creative collaborators. But trouble can happen with these two because they approach the world completely different. And their manners are different. But if they do accept each other's differences, anything is possible. But I'm sure they're more likely to be better friends than lovers. And Cancer is the sign of home, while Gemini is the thinker. And he can easily slip into the role of Cancer's knight in shining armor. And Cancer returns the favor with their characteristics, urge to protect the ones they love. And the quality of home life is very important for Cancer. While Gemini wants to be out and about, tend to crave wild and unusual sex experiences, while Cancer favors a tender embrace from their partner. And their sex life involves a lot of communication from Gemini to reassure Cancer and build intimacy over time. And Cancer may be reluctant at first, but if Gemini is willing to put the work to make this Cancer feel safe, they could develop a strong bond. But like I said, this is more likely in the long term not going to be able to be a lasting relationship, but it could turn out to be a great friendship. Gemini and Leo. Now, Gemini's flirtatiousness with others doesn't really bother Leo, because Leo is self-confident and he'll just look the other way. And this can be an affectionate pair who really enjoy each other. And Gemini has a playfulness, and you know, the Leo likes that and is very responsive to it. Now, Leo will probably demand more adoration than Gemini is willing to give. And socially, each tries to upstage each other. But they do have a lot of fun together doing it. So this is something good. And they both love to laugh. And in bed, ooh, the sparks set off. You know, so what can you ask for? You can't ask more than that. Gemini, the first thing you're going to notice about Leo is their hair. They're going to have a beautiful mane, And they're always gonna have voluminous hair that makes them distinct from everyone else. And it's usually luscious and thick and frames around their face. And whenever the wind blows, the hair dances along with it. And they're going to move royally. And they're going to have a strong, broad shoulders and a long gait. And they could be quite tall. In fact, they're known for looming over others. And they're ruled by the sun. So Leo often has like this golden aura or undertone to their skin or smile. And their smile does light up the room. So you'll notice them right away because everyone else is also going to notice them when they walk into the room. Now, Gemini and Leo can be an excellent match because Leo gives Gemini the attention that it craves, especially intellectually. And Gemini lets Leo be its creative self and high-spirited. And they both come together very well in a love affair because their relationship is playful and high-spirited. And there's a lot of activity in it, and they're optimistic. So Gemini is attracted to Leo's creative, dramatic spirit, but trouble can come between them if Gemini takes the flirting too much. But trouble can brew in paradise if Leo takes Gemini's flirting seriously. And Leo might want to maintain total control of the relationship, so arguments may break out. But Geminis like to analyze things from all sides in an intellectual conversation, while Leo would rather not talk about it and just jump right in. But they're very well matched because Leo likes to jump in and Gemini wants to analyze, and both Leo and Gemini have a lot of energy, and Leo likes to be the leader of the projects and outgoing, and Gemini wants to be free to think fast and go as far as they please. And direct, decisive Leo can help Gemini make a decision if they start to vacillate due to their ability to see all options. But Leo must take care not to be too bossy, because that's going to turn the Gemini off. But all in all, pretty good match. Gemini and Virgo. Virgo considers Gemini kind of immature and a scatterbrain. And Gemini thinks of Virgo as a stick in the mud and kind of boring. And Virgo's analytical approach seems like an indifference to the Gemini. And Virgo looks on Gemini's busy social life as superficial and a waste of time. Because Virgo's kind of critical of just about anything that displeases them. And Gemini can be tactless. So, but both are Mercury ruled and have a mental approach to life, but similarities end there. These two are star-crossed from the beginning. And Gemini's eye is certain to wander. And as far as sex and passion, it runs low. Their sex life soon turns pretty chilly. If you're trying to spot a Virgo, Virgo people typically have gentle features that include a delicate nose and big lips or curvy lips and bright clear eyes or a round oval face. And they do have a tendency to wear their judgments on their face. And some may mistake Virgos for being fragile with their small frame and average height, but they're actually quite strong and lean, muscular, especially if they're particularly health conscious, which a lot of Virgos are. You may spot a Virgo at the gym or wearing, workout clothes. And Virgos tend to blush easily. Not because they're prudish or anything like that, but because they're secret romantics and very sensitive to other people's energy. Virgo may be a bit too serious and demanding for Gemini, especially if this occurs early in the relationship, before Gemini even has had a chance to fully commit. And if Virgo gives it time, things can smooth out, but this is going to be a really bumpy ride because Virgo and Gemini's approach to life are really different. And Virgo tends to be very critical and exacting. And Gemini strains Gemini. And Virgo's practical stance in the world tires Gemini. They have a lot to teach one another. However, Virgo can help Gemini to be more involved in life and to see ideas in a different way rather than simply just surface level. And Gemini can bring fun and exciting into Virgo's life, but this isn't a great match. Gemini and Libra. Now, this is an excellent match here because they're both affectionate, fun-loving, and they like the social life and entertaining and travel. Sexually are active, and neither of them are jealous or demanding. And Libra likes to go along with Gemini's taste for experiment. And these two air signs are very well suited intellectually in every way. They're stimulating companions who will enjoy conversation and a wonderful affair. And neither of them is combative, and they're likely to agree on everything. Now, the only problem that I see with this union is they both love money, and who doesn't? Who doesn't love to spend money? Otherwise, I feel this is a really great match, almost perfect match. Now, if you want to spot a Libra, they're usually very, very attractive. And they're ruled by Venus. They have excellent features, including a glowing complexion and the pouty lips. And a lot of times their faces are heart-shaped or oval. And their bodies are very lean and long. And they're very pleasing to the eye. Now, they're usually symmetrical, and they have a full voluptuous figure that is very pleasing to most eye. And Libras have a natural charm that shows up in the way they dress and their appearance, and it draws people in. They like to dress very nice and usually like fine linens and cream colors. They usually have dimples or even a cupid bow on their lips. And very, very gorgeous hair and bright eyes. Excellent complexion. You won't see any flaws on their complexion. Just beautiful, beautiful people. Now, in bed, the Gemini-Libra couple fascinates each other. Libra is more romantic and sensual, and Gemini will have to remember to show a little more affection to keep them happy. Libra should remember to coax Gemini into giving them what they need by making it fun and exciting. And these people are verbal lovers with a lot of pillow talk and love notes. While Gemini is less of a stickler and more experimental. But both can be detached in the act and benefit from a lot of sensual togetherness to bring themselves down to earth. They like to text and leave little messages and leave naughty notes. And Gemini likes to spice things up to help Libra fulfill their needs too. Libra. Gemini can slow down and learn that sensuality is what keeps a Libra happy. Gemini and Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is very dynamic, and Gemini has a creative imagination, and this makes a good combination. But they need to be able to get along together. There is a lot of combustion in the bedroom, but they soon find out that sex isn't everything. Sensual Scorpio is passionate, demanding, and can be jealous and inflexible, while Gemini is fickle and flighty and flirty. And this can make Scorpio feel really insecure. And Gemini is a social creature. And Scorpio really likes their privacy. Scorpio is suspicious in nature and in constant turmoil over Gemini's casual attitude about love. So it won't be long before it becomes too much for one of them. Now, the first thing that you might notice about a Scorpio is their eyes. They have beautiful eyes. And it doesn't matter what the color or shape is. They're very magnetic, piercing, and hypnotic. They also have sharp features, very prominent cheekbones, dark eyebrows, and pouty lips. They have a very nice, powerful physique. And they're built pretty sturdy with strong shoulders. And they can easily defend themselves. They have a very serious demeanor and wear a poker face as though it was tattooed on them. They're also very famous for their hourglass figures that linger in the imagination. Now, Scorpios like to dress, and when they dress, it's like a superstar is on the red carpet. And everything about them is unique. So you'll spot a Scorpio very easily because everybody else will spot them as well. And their face will be almost perfect. And they're very flirtatious as well. But they're going to hold it back for a while until they get to know you a little bit better. A sexual relationship between Gemini and Scorpio is a very deep connection, and at the highest point on the planet Earth. Gemini is so far off from Scorpio's emotional world that good sex between them seems like something impossible to happen. This couple needs to be supported by other positions in their natal charts if they're going to stand a chance. And Gemini could be really superficial, and no other sign knows this better than Scorpio, because Scorpio is a sign of deep emotions and is linked to its most intimate side of sexuality. So when they begin a relationship with Gemini, it probably never crosses their mind that such an asexual person can exist in the world. Now, if they fall in love with each other, both of them are going to learn a lot from this relationship, and they need to focus on their sex life. Scorpio will give their Gemini partner an emotional vibe to sex that they've never encountered before. Gemini and Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius tends to be more intellectual than Gemini, and Gemini is more social. And both are very restless and argumentative, and they both need freedom. They may be disappointed sexually since neither of them is very demonstrative, and Gemini is very quick to criticize. These two are opposites in the zodiac and are attracted to each other, almost like magnets. And they'll enjoy each other's minds, for both have a wide range of interests. But this affair probably began impulsively, and it'll end the same way. Now, if you're looking to spot a Sagittarius, they often have open faces with broad foreheads, and they're going to have a cheerful expression. Their eyes are very expressive, and they're constantly beaming with curiosity for everything in life. They have a very defined mouth, and they like to have fun telling jokes, and you'll never hear them say anything really bad about anyone else. They have an athletic build with long arms and legs, and they're usually very toned. They carry a lot of restless energy, and because they like to keep moving. In Sagittarius, they often talk and put on a whole performance with their entire bodies when they're telling a story they're really passionate about. And they have a strong independence like you do. And this can be a good relationship. It could actually be spectacular because you are extremely compatible. And any rough spots that you encounter with this relationship, you can smooth out over time with minimum effort. You can have a very passionate love relationship, and you can quickly fall for each other. But a long-lasting love affair may require some extra work, like I said before, because Sagittarius enjoys exotic lovers from different cultures, drawing their interests in a wider net than Gemini. But both signs can be passionate when the relationship is new and adventure filled. But both can also quickly lose interest and become bored. But your intimacy could be bound to take some twists and turns as the relationship progresses. Because Sagittarius is the dungeon master and sex a game of trust. And, blindfold and whips. Gemini duality makes them good at role play, but there's always the temptation to dissolve into giggles when faced with Sagittarius in full leather gear. The sex life can be fun and easy and full of laughter. And if their hearts are set on having a good time in the bedroom, they're going to try plenty of new toys and positions because they're really open-minded and adventurous. They're going to be up to anything. Now, while they're known for being flirts, they're going to trust each other to not cheat. Gemini and Sagittarius respect each other too much, and they'll have faith that they are with someone who would never do that to them. Gemini and Capricorn. Now, our free-willing Geminis, anything goes attitude meets opposition from our conventional, steady, conservative Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is going to worry about security, while Gemini is thinking about losing their liberty. Capricorn is content with order and routine, but Gemini is kind of a distraction to them. And Gemini's need for stimulation does nothing to make Capricorn feel secure. And Capricorn's sober outlook puts a damper on Gemini's high spirits and can put out Gemini's fire. And this isn't an affair with high voltage, but Gemini can help develop Capricorn's unusual sensual potential. Capricorns are like fine wine. However, when they're young, they can look older as they are wise beyond their years. And as children, they looked and acted like little adults with their serious expressions and deep-set eyes. They often have a nice set of teeth and a strong nose, and usually have straight hair, but can often have curly hair. Capricorn people are often, average height, and they can seem bony in appearance. They have high cheekbones and sensual collarbones. And they're known for their striking physique. And they're very hardworking. That's how you'll know that they're a Capricorn. They'll be very hardworking and serious. And they're all about making money too. So they like to think of different ways to make money. And they may have their own business. They may be prone to stress-related skin issues like acne or rashes or eczema. Now, when Gemini and Capricorn come together in a love affair, it may be tough for them to remember while they're together at all, because these two couldn't be more opposite. And if they're operating from a base of love and mutual respect, They can overcome most obstacles, but it's going to take a lot of hard work because Gemini wants their freedom and they think outside the box. And they rely on their quick wit and humor and intellectual prowess to move through life as fast as they can. And Capricorn is more concerned with advancement and status. And they like to follow the rules. And they like doing the set, tried, and true paths to follow towards success, no matter how long it takes. And Gemini likes to cut corners. And Capricorn is more thorough. These two face challenges as a couple. And they need to have the same pace if they're going to make it. Now, Capricorn is more reserved in the bedroom and really isn't interested in thinking outside of the box. And they may become unnerved when their adventurous Gemini partner wants to work their way through different positions in the Kama Sutra or explore the idea of sex in nature. Because Gemini and Capricorn compatibility to be successful is that Gemini will have to help the Capricorn to become totally relaxed and open their mind and ignore practicality. Another hindrance is that the sexual compatibility between them is that they're often not even attracted to each other. Gemini might think that Capricorn is stiff and unadventurous, while Capricorn will think that Gemini is too unconventional for their taste. So, even if Capricorn is intrigued by the Geminis lack a deep feeling and may be a big turnoff for Capricorn. So, they may not even be compatible enough to be in a relationship or even to be friends for very long. This could be a very difficult relationship. Gemini and Aquarius. Now we know how versatile Gemini is, and innovative Aquarius gets along with them famously. Now they share the same taste for travel and meeting new people, and they're both unpredictable. But things don't always go smoothly with these two. Love keeps getting better for Aquarius and adores Gemini's wit and good cheer. And if the affair should end, they'll still remain friends. In a marriage, though, these two are very affectionate and devoted companions and extremely passionate lovers. It's going to be very easy for them to free themselves from any form of social restrictions. Gemini and Aquarius will always go in depth in sex to exchange a lot of emotion and to express love. This is going to be a result of arousal by words of mouth and other stimulation. These people are intellectuals and most likely going to be aroused whenever they set their eyes on each other. And as a friends, they have instant affinity for each other. And they'll learn a lot from each other. Now, if you want to spot an Aquarius, they usually have very unique facial features, making them truly one of a kind. And Aquarius usually are very tall with long torsos, broad shoulders and hips, and shapely legs. They also have a beautiful bone structure that prevents injuries throughout their life because of their unique nature. Aquarius can appear a little awkward and clumsy, especially in their movements. Now, both Gemini and Aquarius are full of ideas and visions and how they want the world to be. And both of these signs need their independence. And they can easily provide this for one another since they understand the needs so well. In this love affair, the pair can enjoy a wonderful, stimulating mental connection. So anything goes for both of them. They can reinvent and experiment with everything. There's no taboo for these guys. And their flaw is only inconsistencies. And it's not even that much of an issue for them. And they're going to always share deep conversations with each other. And almost all the time, they share the same interests and viewpoints. And to some extent, both of them have the same opinions on things in the world and life, and may even finish each other's sentences. Now, Gemini and Aquarius, sexually, this is a hot, wonderful combination. Gemini and Pisces. Now, the passion is very high, and there's really no problems here. Emotional Pisces is too easily hurt by thoughtless Gemini. And Gemini is playful and can be mischievous. And Pisces is sensitive and takes things to heart. So they don't really like that much. And each sign can be deceptive in their own way. Gemini disassembles, and Pisces won't deal with reality. Gemini needs freedom and new adventures, while Pisces needs unending adoration. And Pisces just can't feel secure with Gemini and tries to pull tighter, the relationship tighter. And that makes Gemini claustrophobic and eventually makes it hard for Geminis to breathe. Now, if you're looking to spot a Pisces, they typically have a very dreamy expression on their soft, round faces. And very dreamy eyes are usually looking far off into space, into distance. And they're lost in their imagination. Now, Pisces, they're also known for their baby fine hair, sensual lips, and large eyes. And they're also known to have old souls. And they look as if though they've experienced something many times before. Gemini and Pisces can be really attracted to each other because they're both ruled by Mercury and Jupiter. And there's a big chance that they may not even recognize each other as sexual beings or keep a distance from each other if they do. Gemini has a lot of creative potential, but isn't exactly in search of the one and only true love in order to have sex. While Pisces, on the other hand, they only want to have sex with the love of their life unless they've been disappointed too many times. Now, if they meet after these numerous disappointments, Gemini will not find Pisces very attractive, for they will no longer have that childish energy and charm that Gemini likes. And if their sex life is functional, both of them will have to find a way to be a bit more grounded than they normally are. Gemini will have to realize the truth behind their own emotional nature and given to true intimacy, while Pisces will have to accept the differences of their partner instead of searching for a soulmate with predefined qualities. Now, if you're willing to make this relationship work, this relationship has to be all about flexibility in connection. Now, with Gemini and Pisces couple, the sexual compatibility is very strong. And all the roads lead to sex. And they can have angry sex, hot sex, sad sex, and bad sex. And it solves problems and actually provides relief from the relationship. Pisces, as a water sign, wants something deep and darkly intimate. And like we said before, Gemini is an air sign, and they want pure physical pleasure, but both view sex as creative and inspiring. And they also possess a great desire to show each other how truly amazing they can be in bed. So making sex is selfless and uniting act. Now these signs laugh when it's bad and blush when it's hot. And in the afterglow, neither rolls over and goes to sleep. They're excellent communicators, and they will stroke each other's hearts with passionate words and the building of a dream.